Hi, my name is Nina Anderson, and I'm the art teacher at the Lewis F. Cole Middle School in Fort Lee, New Jersey. I'm here to discuss cultivating a culture of inclusion in your school and how we got it in our school. It wasn't always this way. It wasn't always a family. Sometimes there were different groups and different ethnicities that broke apart from all others. But we wanted to do something to keep everyone united. We created a group called Student Ambassadors. Our student ambassadors act as role models for the students in our school in an effort to promote a climate that builds on kindness and character education. We selected a group of students who are dedicated to preventing disharmony and biased behavior. They maintain cooperation and unity within our student body. The students that are selected are role models for our school. They're essentially teaching assistants. When the teachers aren't looking, the students are always looking. They all know what they're doing. They all know who the instigators are. They all know who the brown noses are. We know who they are. It's easier when they look out for each other. The main goal of our group is to facilitate and promote a positive school climate all the time. We always reinforce a consistent set of behavioral expectations. That's really important in every school setting. This way, everyone knows what's expected of them. Our peer assistance program is a significant hands-on approach. It's an experience that mutually benefits everyone in our school. Our peer leaders, our regular education students, our special needs population, our multiple disabled population, everyone works together in a symbiotic relationship. Unfortunately, social boundaries can create divisions within and misunderstandings within our society. So by working to cross these barriers and to have these peer leaders at the ready can create an atmosphere where every student can grow socially, academically, emotionally. This is what we need for our students, especially in today's world. Your peer leaders will need to promote sensitivity, physical differences, understanding, tolerance. These are things that are so important in today's society. You need to set guidelines for your peer leaders. They don't have to be anything fancy. They don't have to be a whole list. Basic things. Respect everyone in the building, from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high. Who you meet at the bottom, you'll meet on the way up and then on the way back down. Listen. Hear what people have to say. Don't just hear the words. Comprehend what the kids are saying. Listen to them. Volunteer. Volunteer yourself only. Do not volunteer someone else. The kids will say, "Oh, I'll do it. They don't even know what they're volunteering for. This is where you need to get people to realize, if I make a commitment, I need to follow through. You need to participate. Or forfeit. That's it. If you can't do the job, someone else needs to do it for you. Be a role model. You need to be a role model for the kids. The kids don't know what to do unless they model your behavior. Maintain confidentiality. Don't foster the gossiping. They hear you talking about someone else, they're going to talk about someone else. If you're always speaking positively, they'll learn from you. They'll speak positively about their peers, about their teachers. They'll squash the bias. They'll squash the gossip. That's what you want to make your school a place of inclusion. So as part of our Student Ambassador program, we created something called Bridgman Bucks. We give you a Bridgman Buck, like a raffle ticket, for every time you do a good deed. It has to be unwarranted, unsolicited. It's just doing something good. If you get caught doing something good, you get rewarded with a buck. Our bucks go into the display case, and at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and at the end of the year, prizes are awarded to those students who earned their raffle tickets. So why does this work? Why should we reward students for doing the right thing? Shouldn't they just act accordingly because it's the right thing to do? There is a famous quote, and I'm going to read it because I won't remember it. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. That's what we want. If they know doing the right thing, I'm going to get rewarded, they're always going to do the right thing. And that's what we want to teach them. always do the right thing, look out for one another. The tendency to exclude people from social groups is tied to patterns and norms that are building walls between our students. Bullies, for example, lack the empathy of their victims because they sense to ostracize and dehumanize them. Ridicule is often at the root of these divisions, and it separates our school community. Individual rivalries, social hierarchies, the winner-take-all mentality, that's what constitutes some of these behavioral patterns, and they reflect a lack of empathy and underdevelopment for our sense of community responsibilities. In order to build our community and make it one within a class or a school, the students need to learn. They need to learn how to collaborate, how to share responsibility, how to talk and listen to what people are saying. Students also need to interact and learn about each other in order to honor one's individuality. If you don't know someone, you can't get to know them until they tell you something about themselves. Learning about your peers humanizes people. It makes them real. It helps them to identify with one another rather than ostracize or alienate them. Some people are afraid of what others look like. That's absurd. Inside, we are all the same. Periodically working on activities to help these individuals, particularly independent-minded preteens, how about we call them that, or middle schoolers, it allows those students to experience solidarity with their peers and brings us together as a community. I know there's a lot of information that has to be covered in the classroom, but isn't social and emotional growth just as important to these students as the curriculum? We have questions about character, especially me, that I ask them in class. I totally stop the lesson, ask a question. It takes a couple of minutes. Here are some examples of the questions that I ask. You witness a bullying incident. It's outside of school. It's gonna get physical. What do? There are no adults around. You're a group of students, stand by and watching. Everybody knows the answer. Oh, I have to go and get help. There's no help to be gotten. What do? Students have come up with a lot of great ideas on how they can interject into this situation and help their peers. Student asks you to copy his homework. Do you let him do it? You're just as guilty if you're letting that student copy your work. You worked hard. Why should you let someone else take the credit for all your hard work? Let them show some responsibility. Don't take credit for a project that a group did when the group did it. Or, if you did it by yourself, why didn't your group help? You encounter an extremely shy student. He's got very few friends. Kids think she's weird. Do you reach out to that person? Maybe sit with them at lunch. Maybe you'll find something in common. Maybe you'll learn something about that student that shows, I should have a little empathy or sympathy for that student. My favorite question, what are the stressors for middle school students? Forget the stressors. Let's avoid the stressors. We don't want any stressors. Let's think about how we can be mindful of what we're doing every day. And what do the students like about your school? They have to like something. And if they don't, what would they change? And can you help them make that change? These are things, as an advisor, that you can help your peer leaders, your school, your community develop and cultivate a group that is inclusive of everyone. So what are we looking for when we choose our student ambassadors? Well, we want a group of students who are dedicated to preventing disharmony and biased behavior while promoting unity within our school. Simple enough. Oh, what about grades? Well, we want representation from every clique. Oh my God, she said it, the word clique. It's not always negative. We want the band kids. We want the theater kids. We want the athletes. We want the goth group. We want the language arts people, the science people, the writers, the readers. We want a little bit of everything. If you have a leader in each group, they can take back those positive feelings and those positive reasons to help our school feel as one. Everyone has representation in student ambassadors. We want students with outstanding leadership skills. We want students who can Foster a unity amongst our diverse population. And believe me, it is diverse. We have every ethnicity that there possibly could be in our school. You must maintain confidentiality. You must volunteer yourself only, and you have to listen. You have to promise to listen and really take in and understand what other people are saying and how they are feeling. I hope you learned a little something about how to cultivate a community of inclusion. If you have any questions about anything I discussed, feel free to contact me at nanderson@flboe.com.